Nvidia's brand new series of GPUs get their pricing revealed. This could be huge. But before I get to that, GPUs are full on catching fire, and we have the first gaming benchmarks for AMD's new GPU. Welcome everyone to Gamer Meld. This video is sponsored by Micro Center. Okay, it's news time, and first up for today, the GPU melting fiasco has taken a very dark turn. Or should I say bright one, because one lucky PC owner allegedly got to see their GPU light up the case as it burst into flames. That's right, Nvidia GPUs aren't just melting a connector from time to time, they're now offering a built-in marshmallow roasting station. As you can see right down here, this story originally comes from a Taiwanese forum where a Zotac RTX 5090 AMP Extreme allegedly caught fire mid-game during a Battlefield 6 session. And here's the wild part. Unlike most examples so far where it's DIY built PCs, this poster claims that it happened on his pre-built NZXT PC. You can see it says, while playing Battlefield's open beta, the screen suddenly froze, a flash and a burning smell appeared, and that's when the user noticed a flame inside the PC. The fire coming from the GPU lasted roughly 10 seconds and left the 5090 heavily charred. And when we actually look at it, you can see the damage is very extensive, but it's not just with the GPU, because this was of course an open flame. We're actually looking at damage all throughout. You can see the AIO has quite a bit of damage to it. Looks like the memory has been damaged. The motherboard, of course, has been damaged quite a bit. The SSD itself is apparently damaged. You can see even more motherboard damage over here. So yeah, this is a total failure. As far as what caused it, well, besides it being an RTX 5090, of course, according to Unico's Hardware, they believe that it has to do with the MS-VDD rail, which is of course the memory subsystem power line, and they suspect a MOSFET short or phase failure in the area that likely caused the burn. Noting that the section had no dedicated cooling. It says the pattern in the photos suggests a rapid localized power delivery failure that arced and burned through traces and nearby components, so the card appears to be a total loss. According to the user, you can see right here, he is obviously concerned about warranty and RMA. So apparently, since the machine was a pre-built, the shop is coordinating with the distributor as well as Zotac's local agents to inspect the unit, and multiple commenters chimed in with their opinions, worrying whether the shop will replace the whole system, offer a refurbished machine, or push repair fees onto customers. Time will tell about that one, but basically, Nvidia has gone from melting connectors to allegedly causing full-on fires. This situation is honestly just getting worse and worse. Now, if you haven't already seen it, Micro Center is having their Build, Upgrade, Save event, which basically means PC parts are on sale so hard your current rig might start feeling insecure. I mean, they've got the best gaming CPU out there for the cheapest price I've ever seen it at. Specifically, the Ryzen 7 9800X3D is just $429.99. They also have the 7800X3D for just $339.99. Want great deals on Samsung SSDs? They've got those too. Want a 1000-watt PSU? They've got that also. As if prices weren't already great at Micro Center. To top it off, Micro Center is expanding left and right, like with their newest store coming to Phoenix, Arizona. And if you're in the area, check out my link below to get a free 128 gig flash drive for when the store opens. It's a completely free gift, so what are you waiting for? Check that out and this month's savings event on all your favorite PC hardware down in the description below. And next up for today, as many of you know, AMD recently released a new GPU, their RX 9060 Non-XT. And like I said in that video, this is a pretty big release. I know some people tried to doubt that in the comments, but don't forget that this is the card set to challenge Nvidia's 60 line in their RTX 5060, which is historically the best-selling card. So it's definitely an important GPU. Either way, to quickly recap, remember that the 9060 comes with 28 CUs, 8GB of VRAM, and a 132-watt TBP. But specs aside, The big news here is that we have our first review of the card from Technosaurus in South Korea. And as you can see, it is a Sapphire GPU. It's actually smaller than the XT variant, which is pretty surprising given it's supposed to be an OEM only part, yet they put this kind of time into a GPU. I'm definitely thinking AMD could release these for the DIY market as well. And I think it could be a great thing because, as you can see in these benchmarks, starting things off, the 9060 absolutely crushes the RTX 5050. We're talking by nearly 20%, which I do know a lot of people were sort of thinking that this was set to challenge the RTX 5050, but I really felt that it would be closer to the 5060 just because of that naming scheme. I know that AMD is really trying to get close as far as the naming scheme versus Nvidia's cards. Either way, we'll definitely learn that that is the case, and you can see going across these, God of War crushes it there, Cyberpunk crushes it, completely destroys it in Monster Hunter Wilds, then Witcher 3 does fairly well, Red Dead Redemption, it completely destroys it. But moving on to the RTX 5060, we can see that while yes, overall it does technically lose to it, it's really right on par within margin of error. We're talking a 2% difference here. And you can also see that in these really good games, AMD's GPU actually turns out and completely crushes it, like Monster Hunter Wilds as well as Red Dead Redemption 2. All in all, the RX 9060 really is looking like a decent GPU, though of course we are still talking about 8 gigabytes, but at the end of the day, depending on the price, this could still be yet another awesome GPU from AMD. And lastly for today, I just went over a report claiming that Nvidia's RTX 5000 Super series of cards are set for release this year, proving that Nvidia is seriously worried about AMD's push into the market, because that would be a refreshed launch less than 1 year after the initial release. Not to mention the recent story claiming that Nvidia would soon be dropping pricing across the board on their RTX 5000 cards. Well, we now have a price leak that proves Nvidia isn't playing around when it comes to these GPUs. This story originally comes from leaker Red Gaming Tech, who first shared some early pricing that he leaked, which you can see here that the super cards were set to be priced quite a bit higher than their non-super counterparts. But he now has an update to that, which claims the super variants will actually be the same pricing as their non-super cards. You can see that the RTX 5080 Super would come in at $999, the 5070 Ti Super at $749, and the 5070 Super at $549. And with this new information, I have to say that these could be a game changer in terms of price to performance. Obviously, I wish they were actually lower, but don't forget that these bad boys are all getting a memory boost, with both the 5080 Super as well as the 5070 Ti Super coming in at 24 gigabytes of GDDR7, and then the 5070 Super getting 18 gigabytes. Fortunately, only the 5070 Super gets a boost in actual core count, but they'll likely all get higher clocks. Either way, like I said, Nvidia really isn't playing around here, and it's clear with the 5070 Super getting a core increase that they're really going after the 9070 XT hard. As always, competition drives everyone to do better. So while that does it for today, are you pumped for Nvidia's RTX 50 Super cards, or are you more excited about that 9060? Let me know down in the comments below. And don't forget to save money at Micro Center down in the description below. And as always, have a great day.